I'm Shannon Lukens with Mountain TV with this week's segment with Colorado Parks and Wildlife. This week, we're talking about deer, whether you see them on the trails when you're out on a hike, maybe on the side of the road, maybe they're in your yard. Here's what you need to do from Colorado Parks and Wildlife District Wildlife Manager David Rehaksuma.
We have two different species here in Colorado. Depending on where you live, you might see one, you might see the other, or you might see both. We have white-tailed deer as well as mule deer. White-tailed deer, more common to the plains, mule deer, more common up in the mountains, but we do have overlap with both of those species. So they're an animal that most people know about, even if they don't know, if they're not too familiar with them. For the most part, you know, they're flighty, they'll be out of your hair before you really even notice that they're there. But sometimes, especially ones that get too comfortable around people, can even injure people, but they can also damage the grass, the shrubs, or the trees that are in your yard. In northwest Colorado, we do have that as an issue in some places, particularly like Craig, and unfortunately there isn't a whole heck of a lot we can do about it, but there are a few solutions that might be helpful. Fencing out the deer is the most effective solution that you can have there. There are some other solutions if you reach out to your local wildlife officer that they might be able to offer, but ultimately, especially if you're in town, fencing is going to be the most effective solution. Online, there are solutions like putting cayenne pepper in a water bottle, in a spray bottle, and spraying that on those same shrubs that those animals are going for. And while the deer won't like that, there are some other animals that could. So you do have a possibility of attracting other wildlife when you do that. But overall, one of the biggest things that we can do to help our deer and to help us deal with that conflict is to make sure that we're not attracting them. And if you do put out some sort of feed for them, or if one of your neighbors does, that is baiting wildlife, and it is illegal. And one of the reasons why it's illegal is because of a disease known as chronic wasting disease. Chronic wasting disease is 100% fatal in the animals that get it. It's transferred through saliva or other bodily fluids, so like when those animals are going nose to nose, and it can be transferred from something like a pile of corn from one to the other. So it's a disease that is detrimental to those deer. So preventing those animals from congregating is one of the best things that we can do, both in terms of protecting your landscaping as well as protecting the deer. Now, if you do run into issues with them, it's likely because there's going to be a fawn in the area. If you do see a fawn out in the wild, it's probably going to be alone on its own. And a lot of people think that that's a bad thing, that the animal's been abandoned and that it needs help. But really the worst thing that you can do in that situation is to pick it up and try to bring it somewhere. So what they'll do is leave them somewhere, probably in tall grasses, maybe underneath a tree, underneath a bush, and go off and do their own thing. And oftentimes that's when people will run into them, they won't see a mom around, and they'll think that they're abandoned. So what we recommend is that if you do see a situation like that, call us here at Colorado Parks and Wildlife, call your local office, and we'll monitor it for 24 to 48 hours to see if that mother doesn't come back. If it doesn't, then yes, we will absolutely come help the animal, but for the most part, that animal is doing well and safe on its own, and getting involved is the worst thing that we can do.
Have fun out there and always be aware of our wildlife. The Colorado Parks and Wildlife website has more information on how you and our animals can all stay safe. I'm Shannon Lukens, reporting for Mountain TV here in Routt County in northwest Colorado.